Hey yo guys, this is gonna be another video, basically me wishing my condolences to the Tanner family because former UFC middleweight champion Evan Tanner, who suddenly passed away at the very young age of 37, became basically the first in the mixed martial arts world to die, you know, just in his prime, or at a very young age, and of shocking beliefs. I mean, Tanner was someone who had serious alcohol problems, and it was well known. And to give to Tanner's credit, he was very open about it. And he was a bit of a drifter, and he went on a camping trip over the weekend, I believe, and he just passed away from heat exhaustion. Basically, he was on his motorcycle and it ran out of gas. He ran out of water, and he just shockingly passed away. I mean, he went on the trip to cleanse himself, but then again, if you know Evan Tanner, that's what it was. Basically, it was just a trip to go release himself and stuff like that. Really, I don't think it was anything of a. I just think because he was, he's known to be a drifter who did, a lot of odd jobs and would, come and go from the worlds of mixed martial arts. Yeah, it didn't really seem anything out of the norm. Really, I think the thing we need to remember here with Evan Tanner is the fact, a lot of people, a lot of things, like a lot of us in the real world here, we're either stuck at a desk job, stuck doing a job we don't like, or in school and, wish we could somehow get out of it. And, we just wish we could, be free and do whatever we want. Well, that was basically Evan Tanner's life. If he wanted to do something, he did it, which you have to admire, because a lot of people want to do stuff, but they never get their mind to it. He just was like, yeah, I'm going to do it now. But really, Tanner, who actually had, one of the more interesting careers in mixed martial arts. I mean, the guy, he didn't even start taking up wrestling in high school up until his final year, or his second to last year of high school. He was getting offered scholarships to serious high schools, but he turned them down. Then he went to a small college before he had to leave. Due to he got sick, and I guess he couldn't afford to pay stuff for that, and because of the American healthcare system, he wanted to pay for his health. Then college, so he had to leave, and then he got taken up to be in the a shoot fight promotion, which I believe it was the USWF, where Nunzio was a part of, which is a legit shoot fighting promotion. It was basically what pro wrestling was. It was basically pro wrestling with the old rules, like no fist to the face. Only it was actually real, which is something I guess business didn't have. And it was based in Texas, and MMA wasn't legal in Texas, so it was one way to go for it. Then Tanner in his first tournament there, basically just on his innovative ways of training, almost how a team in football trains for a game or prepares for a game by watching film and studying. That's how Tanner learned. I mean, Tanner just had the wrestling background, and he was able to get you in Muay Thai clinch with just from watching Gracie tapes, which is just really amazing. Just shows what kind of an incredible person Tanner was, and his aptitude for picking up stuff. I mean, Tanner was a guy who, he didn't really train as hard, but still he would beat you. He'd just go in there and choke you out, or, beat you with punches, and ref would have to stop it. That, to an extent, Tanner's career when it came to big fights, like, his fights with Tito Ortiz, didn't really take him seriously, and he lost in the first 32 seconds of that fight. And, his fights with Rich Franklin, I mean, he didn't really take them as seriously, so he did lose. I mean, when he lost the middleweight title, which we'll get to in a second, it was more due to a cut there, which, too much blood loss, so they stopped it there, which I, can't blame him. But anyways, then, of course, one of his biggest moments was, winning the middleweight title as being a replacement for Joe Silva, which, when he won that belt, he was going to be the first star from MMA to be made by television. They were actually planning to make the Ultimate Fighter Season 2 to be Hughes versus Tanner, which would have been amazing, but then, you had Rich Franklin cut down to the middleweight division, and he eventually took the belt from Tanner, as I just explained. And then that's basically then towards the end, Tanner kind of left MMA, and just recently he started realizing he could have taken it seriously. He started taking it seriously, and which is very impressive. But he realized it was too little, too late. That maybe if he had at the beginning of his career, when he started in the UFC back in like '97, maybe he would have been one of the greatest of all time. But we don't know. He never took it as seriously, and he had that alcohol whole story there, which obviously takes a lot of effect from you. Which, if you guys are pro wrestling fans, you know about Eddie Guerrero and Jake Roberts, Scott, etc. Many of those type of guys. But really, this death just came out of nowhere, and then, he came back early, I'd say late last year, early this year, and, he didn't have the career he wanted. I mean, he lost to Yushin Okami, and then, he lost to Kenny Florian on the, I believe it was the Ultimate Fight Night card, and that basically spelled the end, and he was going to have some more fights, but we never knew his full potential then, which is just a sad. But overall, I don't think anyone can really say anything bad about Evan Tanner. He was just a very interesting guy. He was a bit of a loner, only had a few set of friends, but he lived the life a lot of us wanted to live, and that's to do whatever they want. So, rest in peace, Evan, and you will be missed in the world of MMA. Peace.